Oh my God.
Programmet presenteras av Betsave.com.
This is Marcus Korva with StudioMMA and MMA Net, and we're here with Anthony Njokuani.
Yes,
Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that right.
Fighting Saturday night, you're fighting John Gadesi, and you guys were supposed to have fought previously.
In Canada.
What happened then?
Just a lot of us fighters couldn't make it into Canada, so they switched the fight over to Atlanta.
Because of the visa?
Yeah, because of problems like that, yeah.
And it's not the first time that a fight, you weren't able to fight. You showed up in Birmingham, and a little bit of a freak situation where your opponent had to pull out because of a car accident?
Yes, that's correct.
How did that happen? I was supposed
to fight Paul Taylor that weekend.
How is that? When you're 2 days to a fight, you've mentally prepared, you almost made the weight cut.
I don't know. It's pretty crazy that's the first time that's actually ever happened to me in my fighting career, for that to happen to one of my opponents. But I was glad that he was okay, and hopefully later on in the future we'll be able to continue that fight.
You know, you sit here, you look like you could work at Bank of America. You don't look like a fighter. You're well spoken. You know, it's if it wasn't that people knew who you were and what you've accomplished in the cage.
It's my incognito glasses. That's why. You know,
like Superman.
I hide. Yeah, I'm like Superman. I hide my identity behind these glasses.
How did you get started in mixed martial arts?
Well, actually, first I was actually trying to become a dancer,
really?
Hip hop dancer. Yeah. And then from there, I started taking American kickboxing classes, because the school that I went to, you had to take 2 electives in order to have like a really good price on the classes. So I took an American kickboxing class and a boxing class, and then the guy that was teaching the American kickboxing class brought in the guy who pretty much brought me into in the fight world. And then once he left, he opened up his own gym. Like a bunch of us left with him, and then that's when I started.
So you started in school, in high school, college?
No, I actually started in high school.
So you had no previous martial art background, and you went from being a dancer, although there's a lot of similarities between dancing and fighting, right?
Well, really, I was just picking up different type of martial arts here and there for breakdancing, but I really wasn't like taking it just for it to defend myself. But then when I got into the kickboxing classes, that's when I took that class to defend myself. And I also actually helped out with the breakdancing, but I didn't get a chance to even go that far in there. I just started fighting right then and there.
Just do dance a little bit?
I'm not going to dance right now. I like cutting weight right now, so I don't have no energy.
But you do still
I can
break
get
it
beat
down a bit?
I try to break it down every now and then.
Do you have any, like, especially, you know, you're from a Nigerian heritage, and if you look at the soccer team from Nigeria, they have a lot of flavor, you know. A lot of times when they score goals, they do a little dance. Is anything like that you would break out in after a fight, perhaps?
If I'm not too tired, yeah, I'll break it out. If I train real hard, and I'm able to bust out little dance moves.
So you're primarily a striker?
Yes.
And you're fighting a guy who's also primarily a striker. Can we expect a stand-up fight on Saturday night?
That's what you're going to expect, but, you know, things can change. It always happens. It never goes the way that they say it's going to go. So
right. And you guys were supposed to have fought previously.
Yeah, back in March.
In March. And was it a fight that you asked to have rescheduled, or was it just the UFC saying this fight is going to happen just at a later time?
Yeah, UFC actually just said it was going to happen at a later time. They canceled out the whole card because of problems with the other fighters, and especially problems with me. So instead of them like trying to like deal with the problems, they just closed it down.
Was it because of? Do you have a Nigerian passport still? Or
No, I actually became an American citizen in 2008.
But you were born in Nigeria?
But I was born, yes.
How old were you when you came to the United States?
I was 3 years old.
Are there any other Nigerian MMA fighters that you know of, except from your brother?
Not that I know of, no.
So you're the only Nigerian fighter?
There probably is. I know there's what's the guy with the braids in his hair?
Sokoju.
Sokoju, yeah. I know he's from Africa, but I don't know if he's from Nigeria.
No, he's not. He's we were down in Israel together. I can't remember where he's from, but he's not Nigerian. So you're the only Nigerian fighter in the UFC.
Yes, I am, and I'm happy.
Have people from Nigeria recognized that?
Yeah, they have. The whole Nigerian community actually loves the fact of what I'm doing, especially for the people.
And is it something that's big in Nigeria at all?
It wasn't at first, but then once they found out that they do have a Nigerian person fighting in the UFC, a lot of Nigerian people have been getting into it.
Did you ever go back?
Yeah, I went back actually 6 years ago, but it was for something else. It wasn't for actually to have fun and visit. But I did get to see like my family and my grandparents and all that when I went out there.
But since becoming, starting the UFC, you haven't been back to Nigeria since?
No, not yet. But I do plan on going hopefully this year or next year.
Do you have a fan base in the United States? How big is the Nigerian population especially in Vegas?
Actually, it's crazy because I'm in some of the Nigerian newspapers out there.
Really?
Yeah, my mom's sister, she picked up a newspaper out there and saw my picture in there. So they do talk about me in Nigeria.
Do you wear the colors?
I need to start. I asked a bunch of my sponsors to make me like the colors of the flag, but nobody
see
has
if I can get
replied.
this right. Green and white, right?
Yeah, green and white. Yeah,
Shit,
green, white, and green.
And being from a Nigerian background, dancing, yes, very big in the Nigerian culture. And you said you got into kickboxing from there. When did you pick up the grappling side and switching over from kickboxing into mixed martial arts?
Well, my coach says I still haven't picked up the grappling.
Who's right here with us?
Yeah.
I heard a little laughter from over there.
I've been training with him for 4 years, but he says I've only been there for 2 years or 2 months. But yeah, ever since I moved out to Vegas, that's when I started taking grappling more serious.
Where are you from originally? Oh, not
Dallas.
except from Nigeria, in the Dallas.
Yeah.
And there's a big MMA community in Dallas as well. We've seen Strikeforce down there. You've seen, I believe it's been down there as well.
Yeah.
Do you go back to Dallas as well?
Yeah, I go back to Dallas all the time, like right after a fight, because my mom lives out there, so I have to go and visit her. My sisters, so I go out there and visit them. And then my sister just had a newborn baby, so now I have to, because I'm an uncle, so I have to go out there and see my little niece.
And how did you end up going from Dallas to Vegas?
It was a long story, because a friend of mine was like begging me to come out to Vegas to train, and he kept on saying, yeah, I got this one guy, he's real good, come out here, you can stay with me, all this other stuff. And so then it damn near was a year before I came out there. So I think finally in 2006 I came out there just to meet my coach now, One Kick Nick, and met him in 2006, and then finally made the move in 2007. I met him, and then I finally made the move, because it was the ending of 2007, and I finally made the move in 2008.
And we're seeing this with a lot of fighters. It's a commitment. When you go from, I fight professionally, but I have a full-time job here, and making a move from Dallas away from family to go to Vegas, is that when you realize that this is what you're going to be doing? Yeah,
it was hard, because my mom was always like telling me, my baby can't leave me, so I had to do it because nothing was going on in Dallas. I didn't want to be stuck in the same rat holes, fighting in these small little shows for the rest of my life, not making anything. And now that I have a newborn, I have a little son now, I'm actually fighting for him now, so I have to put a lot of hard work and dedication into this, especially for him.
And does your mother watch your fights?
Yeah, she watches all of them. She doesn't miss none of them. Even when my father was alive, they would always go to every single one of my, like me and my brother's fights. They would never miss one.
That.
Yeah, they're our big cheering squad. If you were gonna hear, the only person that we would hear is our coach screaming, and my mom and dad like way in the back. We could hear them like 2 miles away yelling.
Well, that's a good thing about having a Nigerian fan base, right? They can be loud.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of Nigerian family would want their child to become either a doctor, lawyer, or even some other like astronaut or whatever. But they're actually happy with what we choose to do.
And they're fine with it. So
yeah, they're fine. They love it.
I'm going to become a professional mixed martial art fighter. I'm going to be inside of a cage. I'm not going to be the doctor. There's going to be doctors there.
Yeah, but my sisters actually gave them what they wanted. One is a doctor and one's a lawyer. So and then the other one's a teacher. So they actually gave them what they wanted. But me and the boys, we thought we were like the black sheep at the time, but they actually love what we like to do. They're more into focus on your dreams. Don't focus on what we want you to do. Go out there and handle it on your own.
So a lot of support from the family.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Your brother is a very talented fighter as well. How far away do you think he is from a UFC contract?
Not that far. He has the skills, he has the youth, and he's gonna be there pretty soon. So y'all better watch out. Y'all gonna be seeing another Njokuani in the cage.
Did you guys train together?
When I actually started him off in this, because I didn't want anybody beating him up when he was younger. So when he was,
Except from you.
yeah. Well, no. Well, me and my family, we don't do that because we have like a really, really, really good bond, strong bond.
Nice.
Me and my brothers, my sisters, we don't. In order for, I did like push him around a lot when he was younger to toughen him up, and which helped out because if you see him, he's extremely tough. But beating him up, throwing him in the closet, I wouldn't do that. But I always tell him the reason why I did this is for you to grow up to be this type of man later on down the line. I don't want you being this sissy, always crying and running to mom. So he ended up turning into what I wanted him to turn into.
And do you guys spar now?
No, he's too freaking long, so I don't like sparring with him. If he was the same height as me, yes. But he's too damn long, and he could catch me from across the street, so no.
Isn't that bad when you have a younger brother who's he's
younger
bigger
and
than
bigger?
you?
Yeah, I know.
I have the same problem.
I'm not liking it. Oh, do you?
Yeah,
I know.
brothers.
I hate that.
6'1", 6'2" almost.
Oh, do you? Oh, yeah. I freaking hate that. But you know.
Do you grapple together at least?
No, we don't. I'm telling you, he's too long for me. I like to stick with people the same size as me.
Now, you being in the UFC, obviously proving yourself in there, do you think that helps and kind of paves the way for him to get into the UFC as well?
No, I mean, with his name and the way that he's performing in all his fights, I actually think that's helping him out more because a lot of people are talking about him. But, I mean, yeah, it's an added bonus. He got a brother in the UFC, but with his performance in all of his fights, it's really helping him out a lot.
Except from Nick and Nate Diaz, are there any other two brothers that fight in the UFC, do you know? Simultaneously.
Jim Miller and his brother. There was a Lozon brothers.
Yeah.
But so far, the only brothers I know right now is just them two. And then there was supposed to be Cole Miller and Micah Miller, but Micah didn't make it. So.
Now, you have another teammate who's fighting tomorrow when you're going to make weight.
Yeah.
In Andreas Spong.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's a lot bigger than you.
Yeah.
But you guys train together.
185.
185, and it's a big 185er.
Yeah.
Who's getting a chance in Bellator, jumping straight into the semifinals. He got the fight with pretty short notice.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thought of Andreas and how he can perform in Bellator?
I mean, with Andreas' mindset, I think he can make it in Bellator. Because the kid is one tough hombre, so he can make it. And, I mean, the guy that he's fighting is no slouch, but with the toughness that Andreas holds, I have a feeling he'll be able to pull off that win tomorrow.
He's one of the Swedish fighters that really made it and has really committed himself as well, moving to Las Vegas. Has he taught you any Swedish yet?
No, but he does speak a lot of Swedish in front of me, especially when he's with his friends, and I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
He hasn't taught you a single word?
Nope, hasn't taught me not one cuss word or how to pull a chick.
Any predictions on his fight?
His fight, I have a feeling he's going to win with the knockout.
Now, back to your fight. Any predictions on that?
I have a feeling we're just going to have a good fight.
Potentially the fight of the night?
Fight of the night, yes.
And that will be the second time in your career?
Yes, that's correct.
So, two kickboxers. We saw a matchup last week in Sweden. Diego Nunes and Dennis Silva, who had a beautiful kickboxing match. It was very technical, but especially the first two rounds, it wasn't as exciting as the crowd, I believe, would have thought it would be.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you have two good strikers, you have to respect each other's strength, especially when you have 4-ounce gloves on. How do you look at that? Is it what's more important, making sure you don't get caught or making the fans happy?
Really, is making the fans happy because I don't want them I really don't want to hear any boos, and I really want to, just give them a real good, exciting fight because those are the people who paved the way for us, and made it as big as it is now. So that's what I like to do is give them what they like, give them what they want. So no more sitting back, having a cup of tea in my hand and just kicking it. No, I'm gonna go out there and do work.
What have you worked on, especially for this fight, that you might not have done in previous camps?
I don't want to give out any of my secrets. I gotta hold it all within. Dragon.
We'll find out Saturday night.
Yeah.
What does Anthony do when he's not breakdancing and not fighting?
Hanging out with my little boy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was Anthony doing before he had a little boy?
Before he had a little boy?
We've seen your coach making the sign over there going like this. I'm not sure if that's
I was sipping yak in the clubs.
That's actually kind of what I wanted to get to because I hear you go out every now and then.
Yeah, well, I only get to go out like once a week, so I mean, And I was with one of Andreas's. Well, I was with all of Andreas's boys, and all of Andreas's boys. They say that they're real civilized, but they're not.
Swedish people. Not
Yes,
civilized.
no, they're not.
Especially not with alcohol in there. What's your favorite drink?
I like Crown and Coke.
Chronic?
Yeah, Crown. No.
I thought you said Chronic and Coke. I'm like,
no, Crown and Coke. You know, I always drink something the same color as me.
So you've been out with the Swedes.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion of Swedish people partying?
Crazy. When they say they're partying to near death, yes, they are. I think I saw the Grim Reaper twice.
And you go out, living in Vegas, is it hard to stay away from it?
It is, but you know, I got a girlfriend that keeps me real grounded, so
yeah.
That's why I'm only able to go out like once a week.
How long have you been together for?
4 years.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So before those 4 years, how often were you going out back then?
Before those?
Yeah.
Oh man, like almost every single night.
Really?
Yeah.
And still training.
Still training.
So
but that was when I was living in Dallas, though.
Oh.
When I moved to Vegas, everything changed.
So you're pretty disciplined.
Yeah, in Vegas.
Fights?
Yeah.
You stay in training.
Well, no, because when I go back home for about a month, yes, it is a month. Don't listen to anything coaches say. Yes, it's a month.
I just see a sign over there going like this.
No, it's a month because I would count the days. But when I go back, because that's my off time, you know, a month. Give me a month of partying, hanging out. That's what I do.
So do you still, break it down in clubs? You can still move?
Well, with some of my boys, because I have a lot of homies back home that are actual b-boys and they get paid to dance at shows. They take me all around to all the clubs that they have to perform at, and I just hang out with them and watch them dance. And then sometimes they'll push me in, and because they still know that I have a little bit. I can do a little bit. So then they push me in, and I do my little top rock, and then I'm done.
Actually, the greatest boxer of all times, Sugar Ray Robinson, was to become a professional dancer before he became a professional fighter, and the greatest, in many people's opinion, fighter of all times. How much do you think the dancing helped you in fighting? Oh,
it helps a lot with your footwork. Really, it does a lot for your footwork, and with me doing that, it really helps out with my maneuvering and all that. So yeah, dancing is really big. If you don't know how to dance, get in a dancing school because it will help you out.
And do you still break it down in class when you're training in the gym? I
try, but I got a coach over there that always try. He always try, tell me to calm down, man. You gotta start working.
So Saturday night, you win. Can we get to see a little dance move in there?
I try to bust out a little 1990.
1990?
Hit you with some little flavors, Try to hit you out with something.
Can you do any of the Nigerian traditional dances?
No, actually I can't. Well, if I get around my mom, somehow it'll come out. But for some reason, I just can't do it when I'm not without her. When I'm not with her, I can't do it.
Is she coming out for this fight?
No, actually she can. I wish she could, but she can't. But she'll be watching it from home.
So come Saturday night, you win. Not a Nigerian traditional dance, rather a 1990s MC Hammer?
No. 1990s breakdancing move when you spin on one arm, one hand.
Oh, that's the name of the move?
Yeah, that's the name of the move.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the coach cool with that?
I don't know. I'm trying to show him.
And then looking forward to seeing you in the cage on Saturday night. Expect fireworks, potentially again the fight of the night. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Programmet presenteras av Betsay.com.